order to train as hard as possible, you must retain a clear image of your purpose.
Let's say you train your biceps. Blood is rushing into your muscles, and that's what we call the pump.
Bodybuilding, it's not just about pumping iron. It's not just about posing on stage. It's about the history, the cultural impact. Look, I'm not a pro bodybuilder. I'm a filmmaker. This lifestyle, it means a lot to me. It's dedicated me to become the best version of myself physically possible, and yet still wanted to push further and becoming even better, which has helped me develop myself in the world of weightlifting, in the world of bodybuilding, but also outside in my career as a filmmaker, striving me and pushing me to be a better person. This story, as I mentioned, what I'm about to show you, it's my way of saying thank you to the world of bodybuilding, to the world of weightlifting. For all these master-broided monsters, before Mr. Olympia, it just began with a showman. His name was Eugene Sandow. He was a muscly defined freak, and that's what he was. He told the world, turning his muscles into an art performance, as I just stated. He called it muscle display. He laid the little seeds into what has become bodybuilding. And then came Steve Reeves. He was the Hercules of the silver screen. He had the body of a Greek statue that was just brought to life from the dedication, the training, the hypertrophy training, just molding himself to look like a Greek god. And that's what he was. And then from this, in the 1940s and the 50s, it had its own arena, Mr. Universe. It wasn't a showcase of strength, it was a showcase of aesthetic perfection, having the perfect model, having the perfect body, perfect shape. These were the blueprints. Men like Reg Park and Bill Pearl, they created what many still call the ideal physique till this day. Broad shoulders, the tight waist, symmetry, bodybuilding, it didn't stop there. It wanted more. The Weider brothers, Joe Weider, Ben Weider, they had a vision. They created the Mr. Olympia, which still held till this day. It became a battleground for the best of the best. It really brought that competitive edge to bodybuilding. It became Joe Weider's vision into reality, which I feel in myself as a filmmaker can connect with, bringing my own visions, my own stories to reality. Larry Scott, the first Mr. Olympia, he had these massive, these iconic arms from just doing these movements with weights, just to grow, destroy the muscle and to get it to grow more. This is what brought that standard to bodybuilding, and it was no longer seen as an underground sport. And then came the golden era of bodybuilding. They were defined and they had proportion, like Frank Zane. He wasn't the biggest, he weighed under 190 pounds. Every line in his body had definition, every muscle was defined, it had sculpture, it was beauty in balance. These weren't just lifters, they became icons, like Arnold, Franco Columbu. They became pillars in the bodybuilding community. They had charisma, the confidence, they had dedication, they trained brutally with volume and intensity, and they created a scene to this day as an influential physique every man strives to have, but not every man wants to put the effort in to get that physique. Arnold, he wasn't the biggest by a long shot compared to some of the people that stepped on stage today. He was the most complete. He had the charisma, the symmetry, he had the confidence, he changed the game, and he inspired millions with his own documentary. It brought bodybuilding mainstream. It became a cultural force, seen as art, which brings us back to where we are now. My era that I've grown up in, I still see the old school as the most influential era as bodybuilding, and for me it was art, like filmmaking is. It was art, and really strived me to change that, and this is where we lead into my story.
He's disciplined and focused, and he progressed so quickly. And in the few weeks that we trained together, we bonded more than anything. We had good times together, and Jake developed more than anyone I've ever trained with before.
When I first met Jake, he was very shy, he was very introverted, and you know, since he started going to the gym and things like that, and bodybuilding, weightlifting, it's like night and day. He's a whole different person.
Training hard gives us all the same benefits, right? it gives us dedication, it makes us become healthier, it makes us better, and it's made me who I am today. Like I said, I'm a filmmaker first before anything, but it just didn't stop me from diving headfirst into bodybuilding. Most of my life, while I was growing up, I was overweight. Yes, I went to school. Yes, I did well. I worked hard. I worked my arse off. I had friends. I was lazy. I didn't care about my body. I just ate junk all day. Went to school. I done hard work in school. One day, I thought to myself, if I can do all this hard work in my filmmaking and school, why don't I do this to change my body? Why don't I make myself become better? After years of pressure from my friends, my family, and all the bullying, I did it. Bodybuilding became my obsession, like filmmaking is. But it taught me discipline. It taught me lessons that I use inside of bodybuilding and outside of bodybuilding. In bodybuilding, we have this thing which we call going to failure. And then from failure, you try again and you go harder. You don't quit, you go harder. And this is where I go into, how did I do it? I just did it. I just got in the gym and I trained. I thought, I'm a filmmaker, I done well in education, and I was doing well financially at the time. If I can do well mentally and in my line of work, then I can be doing well physically. I can get in the gym, I could become in good shape. I lost the weight, and while on that journey, you meet people, you meet lifters, you meet bodybuilders. Climbed over that mental wall, and it became my habit. I was running, I was eating, I was lifting, I was taking pictures, I was filming, like you can see now. I was filming the process the entire way, and I became who I am today. From that, I finished burning the weight off, and then in bodybuilding, we have a thing called bulking, where you put muscle on. And I won't lie to my audience, being fat, bulking up was hard, because after seeing yourself go from being big, losing it, looking lean, feeling good about yourself, but wanting to bulk up to have more size on you, it was hard. And seeing the scales go up again, it messes with your head. Some days you think you're losing progress, but then other days you look at yourself and you think, wow, I'm doing well, I'm doing well. I haven't really gone into any lifters training style, and I feel like each person has their own unique training style. I want to show you my training. It may not work for you, it's worked for me. This lifting session here, it's not a big compound day. I'm using the right form, just making sure I'm destroying each muscle, making sure I feel a tear, pushing myself to go harder. This session wasn't about size or numbers. What my sessions are. I'll have days where I'll go heavy, I'll have days where I'll go light. And as you can see, I'm doing my lat pull downs. I'm making sure you feel the squeeze and then lifting it back again. Doing rows, I'm doing a full range of movement. I'm making sure I'm leaning back, holding the grip to my chest before pushing forward, holding the muscle back again, just holding it, making sure my back is feeling the full movement. My style of training may seem different, it may be different to what other people do, but it's what works for me. And some of you, it may work for you too. I thought it would be a good section to implement into this little story.
You'll never know how good you might have become unless you try. So let's get with it.
It's all about finding the balance for you as a lifter. And some days with that balance, you're fine. You're training, you're posing in the mirror, you're showing off the physique you've got. And then other days, you're just showing up to try. You're just showing up to make sure you've done it. You don't have the motivation there. You don't have the energy to do anything, but you still do it. And that's where the best of the best are really built. I've shown you the history and the cultural impact of bodybuilding. I've shown you my story. I've shown you training. I've shown you how to eat, how to train. What I ask of you now is to just try, to just make you can do it. Just make your legacy seen, make your legacy known, make yourself better. As you say, you don't have to become a pro bodybuilder. I'm a filmmaker, but I live this lifestyle, and it's one of the best one of the best decisions I've ever made. Seeing where bodybuilding's coming from, seeing the cultural force, seeing the impact on me, seeing the wonders it's done. Yes, this might sound like propaganda, but it's a question. Can you handle the iron life? Because if you can, try it. Get over that mental wall and try it. Because once you're over that mental wall, that's most of the work done. Now you're just being consistent. Now you're just training and you're just staying dedicated.